Squawk, squawk, fellow sorrowers. This doesn't really tie into the work I've been doing. Nonetheless, I found it intriguing enough to do a video on it. Very quick one. So I would have shown the scene, but I'm not a tech head, as I've said before. I'm a tech wearer, so I'm not quite sure how to record and talk to you, and flip it round and show you the scene. The scene I'm addressing today is the now infamous Joker dance of the new film with Joaquin Phoenix. His name says a lot in itself. There is a reason why they pick certain actors for certain roles, and hopefully you've seen the new film to know of which I speak. But the infamous stair scene where he's dancing down the stairs to Gary Glitter's song Rock and Roll Part 2, I believe it is. There's a reason it's Gary Glitter as well, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I've seen the film, I think, if I remember correctly, 3 times in the cinema with Joy. I didn't like the trailer too much when it came out. You know, my favouritism lied and resided in Heath Ledger's performance. However, yeah, Joy talked me into going and we watched it. I know it's been out for a while now, so this is obviously quite a belated video, but nonetheless, I watched it again recently. Well, let's put it this way: the first time I watched it, I was absolutely blown away. I respected the way it was made by Todd Phillips, I believe. How it had that Taxi Driver / King of Comedy vibe to it. It worked very well, and I actually prefer it, or I prefer this portrayal of the Joker more than any of the rest. Jack Nicholson's portrayal was more based in the psychology of insanity. In particular, I mean, he was a narcissist, but he wasn't really a psychopath, as was Mark Hamill's portrayal. Heath Ledger's, on the other hand, was a primary psychopath. He had every single trait and more, and it's a very good study. As I've mentioned before, I'm very much into psychopathy. I've been studying it for about 4 or 5 years now. I was going to take it as a course until I realised there's no way of helping them. There really isn't. I've made some psychopathy videos if you want to have a look, but this isn't really about that. Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of the Joker is certainly a psychopath, but it's slightly different because he suffers from chronic schizophrenia. My mother's partner is schizophrenic severely, so I see the traits. I saw the traits when I watched the film. Yeah, very well made, but also absolutely, you know, rimming to the brim with Saturnian symbolism and predictive programming and social engineering. So in particular, as I said, I'm going to talk to you about the scene on the stairs. I believe it's roughly halfway through the film. It's very significant. There's a few scenes that are extremely significant, but not as much as this one. First of all, you'll notice that they've chosen to dress this Joker in orange for 33, but then that's easy pickings, isn't it? It goes a lot deeper than that. Again, this is more child's play, so I'll mention the obvious first. Obviously, he starts off at the top of the staircase, and you'll see it's on the front cover as well. You'll see the sun is behind him. So there, right there, you have your sun worship of Lucifer, the light bearer, along with the orange for 33, and the staircase, of course, which I've mentioned along with many other researchers already. The staircase is Freemasonic. It relates to the levels, the degrees, as does hallways, ladders, train tunnels. Pardon me. So there's the obvious, but as I'm sure you all know, if you watch and listen to my channel, I try to stay away from the cookie cutter obvious, satanic Hollywood stuff, because that's the least of our worries. It really is. It's the Saturnian that I try to focus on the most, because it's the biggest threat. And yeah, so this scene starts off the way I've just introduced it, and then okay, so as I said, I apologise for not being able to show you the scene. If you type in on YouTube Joker dance scene or Joker stairs scene or anything like that, it'll come up straight away. But I thought it'd be best to explain this in the way that I saw it to be explained to me. So yeah, so you've got the costume. Of course, that is based on the Killing Joke anime film of the Joker, along with most of the storyline. Not all of it, but most of it. But yeah, I suppose this is meant to be a Joker decryption. There's a lot that I could decrypt for you, and I will attempt it, but as I say, this scene in particular, sorry to keep digressing. Right, so yeah, so you've got the orange suit 33, you've got the sun worship, Lucifer the light bearer above him. He's at the top of the stairs for the Freemasonic levels and degrees. Now as he goes down them and starts dancing away to the to Rock and Roll Part 2, which was of course injected, influenced and energised by a paedophile at that. It's all energy to them. As he makes his way down the stairs doing his little boogie, you will notice that the dance itself is made up of 3 separate elements. And as I try to teach all of you, and I'm sure you already knew before, or at least you do now, hopefully, it's all about sex and violence. It's all about sex and violence. That's why it's in all music, all films, and many other medias and mediums of art, because it holds the most energy, right? Watch his dance moves after this video if you have the time. As I say, type in what I told you, watch it carefully. Watch his dance moves. They seem like they're just, sort of 60s, 70s jive disco grooves, but they're not. Each stance, each move is of 3 elements, and 3 is of course Saturnian, and they use this deliberately. His dance moves are made up sexually, violently, and the last is that of an entertainer, right? So you'll notice he does a lot of this for the sexual. For the violence, doing these jabs, these punches, right? And then as he moves down the staircase and more to the middle, it's all about balance, you see. You notice he jumps into a puddle and he does this sort of, yeah, which is why I did it at the beginning. Yeah, so the puddle is significant also. I mean, you have to realise this, hopefully, as I said before, you do already. It's a film. But it's not in that sense when people go, it's just a film, you're looking into it. No. Every single thing that you are shown, especially when it comes to movies, is particular, significant, specific, and deliberate. Okay? That puddle, water, right? So fertility, so Lilith, yeah? The upside down triangle, femininity, divine feminine, yeah? The entertainer aspect ties into Lucifer because he is exactly that, an entertainer, an actor, a comedian, right? The Joker, ha ha ha, comedian, right? The puddle also is associated with vibration because of the ripples. And what do I always tell all of you, my sibling soldiers? It's all about vibrations. It's all about our high vibrations being manipulated by them to a lower vibration. It feeds them, and without it they starve. Okay, so that's what that puddle's all about, right? He then moves further down the staircase, and the way Todd Phillips has edited it, I apologise if it's not Todd Phillips. I'm pretty sure it is though. I should have looked again. Sorry. He moves further down the staircase, and Todd Phillips chose to direct the editor to slow the frames down, right? And the cello music kicks in. Okay, so remember, one of Lucifer's abilities, capabilities, gifts, talents, if you will, was music. Okay, and it's very essential to that film, because there's not much of a composition, there's not much of a score, but there's this melancholy and yet vigorating cello music that kicks in every now and then, and particular in this part. So keeping that in mind, yeah, that Lucifer, I would say Satan because he, it, she, it's all the same, is not now. It's not Lucifer. But when it was very musical, right? So they chose to slow it down when it gets to the middle of the stairs, and the cello music kicks in, and if you watch, you'll see he's got a cigarette alight, and it's all slow motion, and he puts it in his mouth, and you'll notice, and he puts his head back. He puts his head back like that, and he breathes all the smoke out of his nose, out of his nostrils, right? Okay, so considering the puddle, which I already told you, yeah, symbolising water, ripples, vibrations, but in particular, water is associated with femininity, which would be Lilith, divine feminine, and it would also be the dragon, right? And this is what I'm tying it into. Okay. He tips his head back with the music, tying into Lucifer, just when it kicks in, and he breathes all this smoke out like that. It's the dragon. Watch him. Watch how he does it. He was told to do that. Jacqueline was told to do that. It's a very important scene to them. He's portraying the dragon, which is Machine Mummy Mean, the Black Madonna, Lilith, Divine Feminine, Grim Reaper, Kronos, the Bitch, the Hydra, Ophiuchus. That's the devil. That's Lucifer. That's Satan. It's not what we've been told. None of it is. But that's what that scene's about. I'm telling you, that's what it's about. Watch it after this, or watch it when you can, if you haven't already and you remember. I'm sorry that I can't, once again, that I can't show it. Watch, just keep in mind what I've said, keep in heart what I've said, and watch his dance moves, and watch how they film him jumping into the puddle, and most importantly, and follow it all up piece by piece, because it's all fractal, it's all segmented with them. Most importantly, watch how he breathes that smoke out whilst the cello plays in the background. They're portraying Lucifer. To them, it's Lucifer. The Luciferians, the Saturnians. That whole film is about exactly that. The fall from grace. I don't like saying he, because as I said, Lucifer is a feminine force. You have to keep that in mind, and in heart also. So I don't use he or she often. It's closer to a she in nature, but it's an it, isn't it? That's what that film's about. That's what it's portraying. You got, again, like, I don't want to, just easy pickings. Like, there's another scene where he's dancing on like a checkerboard floor. Well, he's not. Yeah, I suppose he is dancing, but and the way he's moving, it's almost like Tai Chi. The art form of psychopathy, of evil, perhaps. Yeah, there's a lot of symbolism in it, but that scene in particular hit me very hard because I saw right through it, right through the makeup, right through the face paint. Yeah, just a short one. It's actually gone on to almost 20 minutes. Whoops. But yeah, that's what I wanted to address and expose and acknowledge. Yeah, that film's all about the shadow, or at least that's what it's trying to give off to you as an audience. It's targeting your heart, as per usual, and it's trying to advocate giving in to the shadow. Now, that can actually be quite educational and therapeutic to do, but not to the degree there is, and the levels that they're portraying in Joker. Okay. Yeah, it's all by design. It's all in plain sight. They believe it gets them off the hook if they show you it. In a way, it does. In regards to karma, if we don't act. So this is me trying to act. Because it is all exactly that. It's an act. We act through action, but they act as in lie. Because that is what acting is, right? As an actor, an actress, you lie for a living. That's what they do. And that's what they've done in this film. I don't know if it's going to run out soon. It probably will. I apologise if it does before I close up. Don't think I have a lot of memory on it, but I do with this film. And funny enough, it is one of my favourite films. Many of my favourite films are extremely, not good for you. But that's why they are, because I can study them over and over and over and over. And as I said, if you're aware, it won't scare. So I'm trying to make you aware, so it won't scare. Yeah, there's a few. I can give you a couple of quick bonuses, add-ons, things I noticed. They tie in this. It's like an infestation of overgrown vermin, rats, or rats are archons. So that's why they've put that in there. Archons aren't rats, but they use rats to symbolise archons because of the filth, the disease, because archons are death incarnated. There's a few little things a bit off kilter to what we're discussing that I noticed, like when what's his name, Arthur Fleck, Joker, Arthur Fleck. When Arthur Fleck visits Wayne Manor, you'll notice the first thing you're shown when he arrives is Bruce Wayne as a child, and he's playing on his, it's like slides and swings and stuff on his property, and they film, like the way it's edited, they film young Bruce Wayne slide down a pole, completely off kilter to what we're speaking about, but I just thought that was cool. That was cool, slides down the pole, and then when Arthur Fleck, Joker, gets to the gates and he's speaking to the young Bruce Wayne, he's doing it through the bars, the cage, which is a bit more significant to what we're speaking of. Obviously that's like a foreshadowing of what's to come, Batman speaking to the Joker through the prison cell, through the asylum. But it's also showing the separation of the simulated reality, the material world which the Archons and Demiurge have created, to the organic, the truth. That's what I saw, at least. Get back to me if there's anything that you've noticed. I would love to hear it. Anything that you may feel I've misconstrued, again, I'd love to hear it. It's not a very important video, this one, I suppose. I apologise for that and thank you for your time. But nonetheless, yeah, just I suppose it's just to reinforce my research when it comes to the dragon, because this thing was an entertainer, and that's why it's in control of all media, the father of lies. You have to remember that Lucifer was the creator's first lieutenant, right hand man before he took the path of the left. So he witnessed creation, he knows the secrets. He can't create, but he knows how to create a falseness of creation and creativity. And that's what makes some of these films so fucking good. They have to be. If they didn't, they wouldn't They wouldn't affect you, and they wouldn't infect you. But yeah, I suppose that rounds it up. Anything I've missed? I don't think so. Again, not a very important one, but if you look at the makeup as well, you'll notice you have the phallic masculine triangle above the eye, which is green for the heart chakra, and then you have, of course, the feminine triangle underneath. You put them together, of course, you get the Star of David, which is Kabbalistic and ties into the Saturnian, because it's another sign for Saturn. Yeah, I'm sure there's lots that I've missed, so please inform me of what you haven't missed, and we'll go over it together. But yeah, that staircase scene, very Saturnian, very important to them. I wouldn't be surprised if that film was made, based, and written around that scene. Thank you for your time, your interest, and your attention. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.